Well, turn to Exodus chapter 4. Exodus chapter 4.
Mana tuju siple madu mali.
And we're going to look at these 3 verses. We had a really good question last Sunday.
Nera kita pamunan dono ma ide lishu de otukuno ha asana arene tuku lishu de no.
And you know how I like questions.
So sana wa acha ne ma pe shudelu tuju singo.
So, would someone, let's see, Jamie, would you read in Exodus chapter 4? Would you read verse 24, 25, and 26?
Chichi shipre amadu amaku nishi na todo nishi bi pemosena ahipu pyapu kadu klia noro bi mokhiro esi klia oku akenu som la tu premnya chishuna luro akure misilu manaro pemose ame musi bora pilota rahero adu tali kya apu prekuparo atana pemose kadu ro ahina du suita yakwaki nema vasivati malakoho du adu tali phaji akwaki ahina nema vasivati malakoho amite pelupunuro som latujupre Blue Utupre Galu.
Kumose has just been told by God to go back to Egypt and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt.
Akunen madama kumuza na ma ite tomre chulu wa chana chanu da do Egypt go ba iktheke lo ma lo plima jurfusi.
So Kumose has been given this tremendously difficult job of going back to Egypt.
Nida kumuza amit me ma yene pelungi mite ma abika chak khasa do Egypt go.
And then we have these few verses that tell us about one thing that happened on the way to Egypt.
Tobar pona awe te somawe odki ko he mai shopede Burma kumuze me chocolate me chanu se man do Egypt no.
It doesn't give us a lot of information, but it sounds very strange.
Nida pe papa pone ma ai sho any bete na o eto ko he mana do pe pa ke pe ni ho na ma sana do I credit te ba pe pingina ma ite at palo ki cha ho.
So we're going to look at it very closely to see what was happening.
Ni mena pe me ta te me ba pho ma ba a chocolate ki na ma me thote crete.
Whenever anyone reads this chapter, they wonder why this happened.
Ni ba mo pe we ba pha ba the man si ne ma adne go he o cha me te de esina khabe me kilometer me te thote kilometer.
Now, this is Kumose and his wife Zipporah and his 2 young sons.
Kunne na ma famous ma ha to lo. Ma famous na primo Zipporah and to na pu ku sin.
And they stopped overnight at an inn, like a hotel, like.
Nida mo kino ha si cho ko de ma hi gu ku sana de hotel sana ring na hotel ki ba.
And it says that when they were there, that God wanted to kill Kumose.
ni ba ma ese ha to ba hi sana hote ba ta phu no ha ba na kina chom ren ha asi me misa ke chama phemo za ka
As we look at the details, we can think about what exactly might have happened.
ni da ma pe me ta te re pe phat klo ne ma pe de ne thesa men ani yo ko da ma ide me te tha the mi ana sana da pe singi che put ki ba
Now, the wife, Zipporah, Kumose's wife, Zipporah, it says she took a very, very sharp stone, like a razor stone. You know, sometimes when a stone is broken, some of them are very, very sharp. She took a sharp stone and she circumcised one of the boys, or I think it was just one.
yeah I think so just one
Yeah, one of the boys. Would you say that?
ma ba na ke ma phemo za ame ma primo the four na go ha pya ma lo a there ne ro ko no ba wo hi ni dia a
Adu na pa pu na pa.
a phu pha mana
A kerki mu.
yeah ma bude phu de sing ya
Sungi tu.
e ani tikari
Itu sama nya.
ta hi mo na 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 sia
Without going into a lot of detail, does everybody know what that is? That circumcision operation? Does everybody know?
ani ma he adu de li pha hai na pha de li
Adu pa li je.
si ma de bai de si sing ni ve ai na
Everybody know?
ma ne he a to nu ma na ve
Adu me te ni te singi tu ai.
oh well we don't know the reason though
Te tu ba.
Okay. Well, this is something that God told Abraham to do. Starting with Abraham, God spoke to Abraham. He said, all of the males, when they are born, all of the males should have this done to them.
ni da sa the da ma khu ma phe abraham a ke na go heaven ke chom re a hi lu na da si phu khu ne ma si phu khu lo lo pli ma abi kha be min go na
And that was to show that these males were part of Israel, Abraham's descendants.
a me na me te ne ma sana do me ma phu khu si te he si ma shu ma da ma ite phe abraham a phu a lo si ande da kliu si ne a pa da phe abraham kliu ba
It was important because, well, first of all, God commanded them to do this.
ni da a sing na be de du ne me te he ma chom re a no me lu ba
And second of all, it showed that the males had faith in the promises that God made to Abraham.
do na cha te chena ma sana da si me klo me te ne ma sana do me ma si a me klo ne ma si ne ma a ji ma chom re la ngo ma de a olia lo lo pli ma khu ma phe abraham ya da lu mai te ne ma sana si ji ma de chom re a te olia ma ko ko
So this is something that the head of the family, Komose, should have made sure that was done for his sons.
ni mai na ha da ma me te ma phe mo sa na ha ide a sana a hi ku kla du le a da ku kla du le ma hi ku ku no ha a be ma ite sana a be me ta te ma da a phu si na ma a me lo tho klo a be si ni so a be me tho de ko
But Komose failed to do it.
mana de ma phe mo sa na ha me no to ka me pe a phu no klo to
Now, we've just heard these verses read. Now let me ask you the question. How do you think Zipporah felt about this thing that should have been done, this circumcision? How do you think Zipporah felt about it?
ma ba pe phal le sa to ko ha te ni ma ko ha ma de te ni ma da ma ite phe mo sa me bi se ya no ko da angi na me de asing na da phu khu ne ma abi phu khu lo pri ma be kha be mi un klon hi me ma da engi na ma asana at mi mi te singi
You want to read it again?
si pha po
Read this. Let's read this again, and ask yourself, how do you think Zipporah felt about her sons having to be circumcised?
ni me te ne me ko ha da ba ite mi te ma phu khu si na ma be kha be no da ko ne ma sana da ma amu nge na ma sana abi te ni asana da e ma kha be mi te no asi plo do asi ngoe You want to read 24?
Yeah. Would you read those verses again, Jamie? Do you have it on the?
No, I don't think so.
No. Would you read that?
This is to 26.
24, 25, and 26.
Vi pemosena ahi pupcha pu gadu liaro vi mokiro esi ka oku akene som na tu brenya chishuna luro aku re miselu manaro pemose ami mercy bura shilocha rahero adu tadika apu preku paro atana atana pemose kaduro ahina du suita yi akuaki nema vasui vate malako ho de adu tadi phaji akuaki ahina nema vasui vate malako ho ame te lu punro somra de jubre lo utu prekalo.
Was Zipporah happy to do this?
Nida ma mi te ma mo Zipporah mi pe phu ngi na ma sana ba mi akhe na ma ami mu ni si lo mi si lo mu No, I don't think so.
She was mad. She took that bloody skin and she threw it at him.
Ni ma de asi plot du jo ko ha phya ma apha na ba abi de ma phe mo se ide ma khe do cha no phu jo ko.
So there must have been probably over years a big disagreement between Kumose and his wife.
Ni me no ha ma pe te ni me ma de ma phe mo za na a me ma Zipporah na ma esi me to lu to na ong yan ne ke de esi lu ona asna kya shi lu na ba.
Remember, Zipporah came from a family that was a very, very distant relative of Abraham.
Nimna pe to ma ko he de ma phmo ma mo Zipporah na ma ite asana da apove kana da ma phe Abraham na ma asana phnya lu to ga o ya lu.
Her father was a priest offering sacrifices for his family, but we don't know how close those people followed God's commands.
Nida ma Zipporah a phe na ma athwa ma da sana fukipu de fukipu na ba esi fukipu si de ide lakra tomra lango ma de ite ami se te ami sa ma te pu lo me da ite adilo thana tomre ko ha ma na da pising to da esi je na ma ji to phnya na tomre to ne a ji sana la hu ki sing to ba.
So Kumose would have wanted to obey God's command. Zipporah did not want this to happen.
Mi na pe ne ma phe mo na ma asi me lakra me man tomre sho esi na ma na da mi apmo mo ma Zipporah na ma sana chu re to ke sana simit re to ke.
And she may have thought, I do not want this to happen to my dear little sons.
Mi na da angin ma tan ni na o da mi te vesi no khabe no me phu si me at ko to.
So Kumose wants to do one thing, she does not want to do it.
Mi na phe mo na ma sim me te chu ma na da angin ma asime to.
the other day, I heard on the radio, I heard a woman talk about her husband.
ဒါလကတနာမစရာနီဟိုနမရေဒီယိုနော်ကအနီဟိုမပရမော်ဖရေမာအဟေဒမပခုရကကော
And she said something that it was kind of funny, but it was also true.
နီနာပမောအဟေဟေနမစနဒဘာဟေနမစနဟေစင်ညာတကီမနာအဟေနမအတောပဲကော
She said, when I'm happy, my husband's happy.
ပမောနာဟေနဒအီတေဝအမိုရစစ်ကစီလောနေမှာဝပခုနမအမိုကလူလူအစနအစစ်ပလမိုက
We all understand that.
နီပစင်းငေကပဲဟေနော်
So the problem wasn't solved, it was just forgotten about.
อันนี้เด้อเพมอนซนะอพมอนไอซีมาเมตโตอเตอโตลุโตรคนมาซนะไอซีแม่มีโทเกนมาซนะอมีโทเกเปโตก็ให้วันไหนซนะเดเนี่ยให้งี้ปูก็
Perhaps every time the question came up, boom, in the house.
นี่ไม่เป็นเนี่ยบ่มาอีเตไอซีแม่เฮมเบอร์อีเตa pu re kya ne ma bana khene ma ba as the prayer me should there here ar ko re kya ki ne ma sana as ida odo hi ku ma ide as cash lu no block.
And so now God is thinking, if he is going to be the leader in Israel, he must follow my commands.
Ni mi te ma chom re no asi no thwa khumo ze a phemo ze na de di juru phu si lo lo te kukla du lo phne ma sana de di phemo ze na ma be lokra to ma na chom re lang ko.
Now, we can understand something here. How was God going to kill Kumuse?
Ni ba pho na ma pe te ni men ma sana de chom re na ma si me so phemo ze na ma ma mi sa lu mi te kyati.
Now, if Kumuse, if the circumcision was going to be done, it should have been Kumuse to do it.
Ni mi te ma da ma phu khu ide abe ide du patli na ma sana ide khelu ma ide ma khu phemo za na ma abe me pya phu ngi ga.
Why could Kumuse not do it?
Na mi te ma phemo za na ha ame thwa pe to me te ame pe ma phu ame pe ma phu to me te.
Any ideas?
Madam ma te double shahina abe mona atharu aphine kana phuki ni hin hai ni hin hai manada phomu sara akhra som na langura chor pri hai para esina o plo chuna mi da suna na abe phelu hai abe phelu mere che ada he ma ame na bi chu na ko mere che ame he ma be bi chu na na chu che lo to khwa kha he ame pearl na aphu du de li pha phu khwa kha na e be me he se pinga ro se ba e be me na na pe mo sa na tha plo du be me na me na na abe mo na chu do khwa kha na na aka de som na no ka kha lo do khwa kha na na ame tha be ti pya si me te he na ma ape mo na ve na klero to kya lo ake me he phu khwa kha he kya lo na phu sa khwa kha ra ma som na si me so te ki lo abe abe mo sing ni ke ta ni.
Oh, so she thinks because every time they if they try to bring up the this topic, there is always chaos in the house, and because they could never agree on what to do, since he's to be the leader of all the Jews, he has to do it, but his wife would not agree, so she's thinking maybe God will try to kill Moses in front of his wife.
Yes, and some have thought, and I think it's a good thought, that Kumose might have made Kumose very, very ill.
God might have made him ill?
Yes.
Oh.
In other words, to kill him, he might have made Kumose very, very ill, and so Kumose could do nothing.
anima te he na ma tne na ga he na da mi te ma chamra me sa ma kumo zene ma sana ame shwine ne lo ga mi te sana kumo zena am pe mo zena ha mi che ba te chuba.
So Kumose knows. He somehow God allows Kumose and Zipporah to know that this illness, if that's what it is, that this illness is because they have failed to obey God's command.
Ni ma ite esitene ma hina mi te kene ma de famozana shwini ne ma sana jomre a nosingi ma famozana aprimo de mo safora go asana asingi nosingi luna ma me te kum famozana shwimete ne ma de esina a me pe ma jomre te me to mine te asana te shwite go.
We know in the New Testament that God sometimes does bring illness when there is a sin that has not been taken care of.
No pisingi na mi te ma de lisa se na mai shopi go ke na te fo ke ma ke sina esi te su wa mana a mi re sa na te su to mi to mi re sa to ne ma chum re ma de ta ma te shui de ma a pre mi te sun pre go.
Usually not with an illness, but sometimes it can happen.
Ni zena esi te su no ba a shui te wi na ma to go mana ide au to fo ke ma ta mi na go.
And so now they both understand that this has come, this danger to Kumose has come because they have failed to obey.
Mino ha da esi aprimo pemozana aprimo na singi go da pemozana a te so ha re asana a te shu o mi te hene ma da esina a mi pe ma chum re te mi go.
And so Zipporah, she does the circumcision to save the life of Kumose.
Mina ma mi te ma mo Zafora no ha asana asimi cho asana a priku no ha asana a tena ami aduge ma pu ku hatli go ami pe ami mi te ma asana sino sana a priku go.
You know, this is about all we know about Zipporah. I think we never hear of her again.
Nida primo ma mo Zafora arigan ma sana pini hon ma oba to kiva go heda rosi da lisera rosi ma hina arigan ma optoga.
It never really talks about when she died.
Anida enma asaba khete ma da lisera go ma shotto.
And remember, Kumose, he died when he was 120 years old.
Thoba pe to ma ko heda ma pemozana ma ada asa kinama ana wa te nesego.
So we don't know anything more about Zipporah except this.
And me na da mana da mo Zafora arigan ma pisingi to mana pisingi to ba for ki ai sho ba for ki ga.
You know, this teaches us that we cannot pick and choose which commands we will obey.
Ni ba the po ai sho pe na ma ai so pe na ma te na ma na da ite chomre a no me pit me sina ma pi jo che to ko ha sana office mi te ver ko da rosi pe mi to pe sana pe ngina pi jo che to ga.
It's an easy thing to do, isn't it? To obey the things we want to obey, and then the other things, well, we try to push them away.
And me na da pe ngina ma asana yumi a le ma pesim pe me su ma huda pesim me kana ko henda chomra no me lo pli be la khame na ma sana ayungi ama ma op ar ko ayungi ama me mi jor ko ma le pe me te ne ko.
It also tells us that the life of a believer is not always easy.
To vai so pe na ma da ite kripu ma pe preje chomra ngo si de he da pe te chopre na ma ayungi to.
Because here we have Kumose with such a difficult work to do, and his wife not agreeing with everything that is happening.
Me de ma ba pho be me na ma ba phemoze na ma da chomra no me lu na ma au to chu da esingi la please ma yen ne pilungi ko he mana a be me va mana de a promo ma de a met a chulu to ko
Any questions about this?
ni da ma peli so at ko ma sisi le shu de pa